Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a sea moss infused liquid shampoo. You guys have been asking me about a sea moss infused shampoo for quite some time now, so I'm really excited to be sharing this one with you today. You may be wondering why someone would want to add sea moss to a surfactant based kind of system like shampoo or body wash, and there are lots of reasons. We'll be going over all of that in the video today. In this video today, I'll be going over my full visual process and tutorial of how to put together this amazing shampoo, and I'll also be giving you some tips and tricks along the way and explanations as to why I am using all of the ingredients that I'm using. If you would like the full written recipe with a full step-by-step tutorial, including step-by-step instructions and percentages for you to scale up or down as you like, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. This one will be considered my bonus recipe for the month of May, so it will be available to you at the $7 level. If you haven't had a chance to check out my campaign, I really hope that you will. I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below for you. There are so many recipes and tutorials for you to take advantage of now, literally hundreds just at the $5 level. I never remove any tutorials or recipes off there, so as soon as you sign up, you have access to everything. There are 6 tiers for you to choose from, each with their own unique benefits, and we are still offering coupon codes to my favorite suppliers. These coupon codes are exclusive to my patrons, and they are to makesy.com and onlinelabels.com. So I really hope that you'll make this month your month to come on over and check it all out. All right, let's make some sea moss infused shampoo. So what I have here is just a little bit of Irish moss, sea moss, and I'm going to go ahead and weigh this out. Usually I just eyeball this, but I'm going to give you a measurement. This is 0.2 ounces or 5 grams of sea moss. We're going to go ahead and make a 200-gram batch of shampoo today. And right when you take it out of the bag, it's salty and it kind of smells like the ocean. I get this brand here on Amazon. I'll go ahead and place this link into my Amazon store. This is the Red's Kitchen Sink Wildcrafted Sea Moss. And what I'm going to do with this little bit of sea moss right now is just dried and it's hard, so we can't use it in this state. So what I have to do is go ahead and rinse it off really good, wash it, and then we are going to go ahead and heat it up. I'll bring you back after I wash it for the next step. All right, I've gone ahead and just put my sea moss in a fine mesh strainer, and then I rinsed it under cool water. Now it's time for the next step. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cover this sea moss with some distilled water. Again, I haven't weighed this out, but I'm going to do that for you today just so that your results are consistent with mine. So all we're going to do is pour enough water in this pan to cover the sea moss. So I put 288 grams of water to 0.2 ounces of sea moss. And I know that that doesn't sound like enough sea moss, but trust me, it is. So the next step is to go ahead and heat this up, turn on the stove and heat this water up to a simmer, and then we're going to go ahead and simmer it for about 20 minutes. Now, some of you are still wondering, why would I want to put sea moss or Irish moss or seaweed essentially into my shampoo? Well, sea moss is very high in carrageenan, and carrageenan is really good for your skin and your hair. So what's going to happen when I cook this down and render down the sea moss is I am releasing the carrageenan into the distilled water, and that does a few things. It infuses the water with the vitamins and the nutrients and the minerals from the sea moss, but it also helps to volumize the hair. It brings lots of hydration, softness, and silkiness to the hair. And let me tell you, after using this shampoo for a little while, I really am not sure what has taken me so long to experiment with this. So it just adds like a soft volume, also helping to smooth down the hair, and it's super good for your hair. So I will bring you back after this has simmered for a little while. I want to show you what it looks like while it's simmering as well, so you can see what it looks like as it's rendering down. Okay, so my water has been simmering now for about 6 minutes, and as you can see, my sea moss is breaking up into smaller pieces. and it's releasing all of that carrageenan into the water. Now earlier I mentioned that 0.2 of an ounce or 5 grams of Irish moss or sea moss is the perfect amount for this formula, because after I take this off the stove and this has a chance to reach room temperature, this will turn into a gelatinous texture, much like Jello. So a little bit goes a long way, and the sea moss will actually help to thicken up this formula a little bit as well. So I wanted to tell you why I was inspired again to make the sea moss shampoo. So I've been enjoying this rehab shampoo by Lush, and of course I always read the ingredients on everything. So as I was looking at this and reading, the second ingredient on this is the carrageenan extract, Chondrus crispus, and that is sea moss or seaweed extract. And once I read that, I was like, aha, I need to revisit the sea moss shampoo. So that's what led me down this path of formulating my own. All right, so while my sea moss is simmering over there, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the water phase of this formula. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and add in some DL-Panthenol to the bottom of this beaker. DL-Panthenol is just vitamin B, provitamin B. So we're gonna go ahead and add that in now. And then to this, we're gonna add some distilled water. Now we're not using 100% sea moss water in this formula because I don't want this to become too thick and gelatinous. One of the great things about this formula is it doesn't require the use of any thickeners or pH adjusting. So I've gotten the consistency just right with the ingredients that we're using here. So we're going to go ahead and weigh off the distilled water. Okay. And we'll be adding in the sea moss water last. We just want to make sure it gets nice and cool before we add it. So next up, we're going to be adding in some Lamesoft Pro. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I love this ingredient for shampoos and kind of luxurious body wash type formulas. So this is a combination of cocoa glucoside and glycerol oleate. This is a refatting agent, so it's going to help your formula to feel just really nice and hydrating and conditioning on your hair. It just gives it something I wouldn't probably go without. It's a really, if you can't get a hold of this ingredient, you can combine your own. If you can source cocoa glucoside and glycerol oleate, you can do a 50-50 blend of those two ingredients to make your own. But it really just makes the formula feel very good when it rinses out of your hair. Nice, conditioned, silky. And sometimes surfactants in and of themselves can feel a little bit drying, and this helps to just refat it and make your hair and skin feel really nice. So to this, we're going to go ahead and add in some glycerin. Glycerin is a humectant. This is also going to help to draw moisture to your skin. It helps to stabilize the foam and the lather. I'm going to stop here and give this a little bit of a stir just to get everything combined. The next ingredient we're going to be adding is something called cetrimonium chloride. Cetrimonium chloride is often used in shampoos. It's an anti-static, anti-frizz ingredient. I've come to really like it for shampoos. And also, it's an emulsifier. So it will combine the oils and waters in this formula. We're going to be using a little bit of essential oil. And this combination of ingredients will make your shampoo the perfectly right consistency for a shampoo without any thickeners. So cetrimonium chloride is also another great one to have around. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that one in. So this is also going to help your hair feel silky and smooth. It feels really good. It has really good rinse off properties as well. So your hair doesn't feel stripped or dry. So this is a very good one. I definitely wouldn't probably go without this one either. So we're going to go ahead and add in the cetrimonium chloride. I think the emulsifying properties of this ingredient are amazing as well. I got this one at makingcosmetics.com. I know you can pick it up at other suppliers too. We're going to go ahead and give that a stir. And as you can see, my formula, this is not going to be a clear formula once we add those essential oils in, and it does emulsify. But if you notice, a lot of shampoos have that kind of pearly white look to them. Okay, next up we're going to be adding in some extracts. Alright, the first extract we're going to be adding in is called Fision Hydra Tress. This is from Voyager Soap and Candle, and the inky is water, panthenol, hydrolyzed quinoa, glycerin, pea seed extract, and hyaluronic acid. So this is a really unique hair-loving ingredient, and this ingredient I feel has made my hair really soft. I have been really liking experimenting with it, so we're just going to add this directly to the water phase here. Next, we're going to be adding in something called Kera Veg 18. This is also from Voyager Soap and Candle, and it is a mix of water, wheat amino acids, and arginine, and a few other little ingredients in here. This is a vegetable product that mimics keratin. So it's going to give you the same benefits that keratin does, that strength, and it does strengthen the hair shaft. Now we're going to go ahead and add in a little bit of preservative here, and today we're using Liquid Germall Plus. Liquid Germall Plus is great for water-based formulas like this, and it really works great in a wide range of pHs. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of preservative. There is preservative in some of the other extracts and stuff, but it's just not quite enough. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and stir this to combine a little bit here, and then we're going to add in a blend of essential oils. Alright, now I'm weighing my essential oils off into this little beaker here because we're using such a small amount, it's easier to weigh on my small scale, and then I'll add it to my bigger container over there. So the first thing we're going to do is add in some lavender. This is Lavender 4042 by Brambleberry. I really love this brand of lavender. It's my favorite. Okay. Next, we're going to be adding in some rosemary essential oil. This is also from Brambleberry. Rosemary is really good for the hair. It's said to stimulate hair growth. Some people really swear by it. And I love the way it smells. I love how it combines with other essential oils too, like lavender. And then the last essential oil we're going to be adding in is a little bit of peppermint essential oil, and it's going to give it a nice fresh smell and a little bit of tingle. We're not using that much of it. Mixed with the lavender and rosemary, it really is a beautiful blend. All right, this one came from Nature's Garden. You can pick up, these are common essential oils, you can pick them up anywhere. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pour my essential oil blend into my bigger beaker, and you will see this formula start to change. as the oils emulsify with the formula. So right away you're seeing the formula is going a little bit more cloudy. And that is due to the cetrimonium chloride emulsifying those essential oils into the formula. So we're getting more of a milky emulsified look, which I think is very cool. Okay, once that is all mixed up, it's time now to move on to the surfactant phase. So the surfactants are what's going to give us the foam, lather, and also the cleansing properties. Smells so good. So the first surfactant we're going to be using is cocamidopropyl betaine. You guys know I love this one. It's made of coconuts. It's a gentle cleanser with a fairly low pH, and it is very mild. It's found in a lot of shampoos, body washes, facial washes. It's very versatile. It pairs with other surfactants very nicely. This is going to be our primary surfactant. The next surfactant we're going to be using is sodium laureth sulfate, otherwise known as SLES. This is not the same as sodium lauryl sulfate. SLES is much gentler and more mild, also a plant-based surfactant, and this one has a really nice emollient foam and lather. It really does help to boost the foam. You could use this as your primary. In fact, I did formulate a sea moss shampoo with this one as the primary surfactant. I'll go ahead and share both of those formulas in the same document over on my Patreon campaign. And then the last surfactant we're using is decyl glucoside. We're going to give this one a nice stir after everything is combined in here. All right. And we're going to go ahead and stir this to combine. And my formula right away is starting to thicken up just with the ingredients that we've used so far. I'm trying not to stir super vigorously because I don't want to kick up any bubbles. But as you can see, we're getting a viscosity. So this is formula, I find it so fascinating, the chemistry behind it. Just, it's awesome. So as I'm stirring, you're starting to see everything emulsify. Again, that cetrimonium chloride combined with the water, surfactants, and the essential oils is going to create this beautiful, sort of emulsified looking, viscous formula. Okay, now the last thing we need to do is go ahead and add in the star of the show, and that is our sea moss water. All right, now I've gone ahead and strained the actual sea moss bits from the water. It's still rather warm, so it hasn't turned gelatinous yet. It's around 100 degrees. And we're going to go ahead and add it to this formula. You want to make sure you don't add it too hot because you don't want to kill off your beautiful extracts, proteins, and also your preservative. So around 100 degrees is a good time to add it. And because it's still in its liquid form, it's not gelatinous yet, and it's not too hot that it will kill off your formula, the properties in your formula. So we're going to go ahead and place that there, and we're going to add in our sea moss water. As you can see, it's cooled. My container is cool compared to the sea moss, and you can see it's starting to gel up on the sides of the container there. So I'll show you what it looks like after it goes completely gel-like, and it's gelling up in my formula. It just hit the cool water in my formula. So I'm just stirring it to combine and get it all homogeneous. But it's adding a nice viscosity to this shampoo. Really, really beautiful. And now, as you can see, we have almost a completely opaque formula. Carrageenan in and of itself is also a great emulsifier. Just giving this a nice stir. And I'll show you what this looks like after it's hardened all up so you can see what it does. So if I haven't mentioned this already too, I have lots of sea moss formulas over on my Patreon campaign that you can take a look at and take advantage of. I have a whole collection, and this will be added to that collection as well. Okay, so we could just leave it as it is. You don't have to add anything to it. This already has a very nice viscosity with a pH of around 5.5. You don't have to do anything at all. You could just put it in a little pump container and that would be perfect. I'm going to show you today what it looks like to add a little bit of glucose thickener and a little bit of pearlizer. The glucose thickener, I'm just going to bring this up just a tiny bit. This is very optional. You don't have to do this. I'm just adding the smallest bit. I don't want to overdo it. It already has a pretty good viscosity as far as I'm concerned. But I just want to show you that you can bring it up a little bit more if you like. So the formula now is sitting right at room temperature, smells super good. All these beautiful hair loving ingredients. And that's, I think, all I'm going to do to it. Just a tiny bit. You want the shampoo. Shampoo is interesting because you don't want to get it too thick because you actually want to be able to work it through your hair pretty easily, but you also don't want it too thin that it just, is hard to catch and spread through your hair and that it drips down your face. So that's all I'm going to add here, just that much. And then I'm going to show you also what it looks like to add a little bit of pearlizer to it. Now, the pearlizer, you guys have seen me use this before, is going to give this a nice iridescent, creamy look to it. It already has a creamy look. I'm just going to enhance that a little bit. Totally optional. No need to adjust the pH on this one either, which is awesome. I find formulas that I use, Lamesoft Pro, it typically brings the pH down a little bit as well. So there, all I've done is add that bubble wash pearlizer just to make it a little bit more creamy and iridescent looking. And the last thing we're going to do is go ahead and bottle this up and show you how it works. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pour this batch into this Boston round. It probably won't fill the whole thing up because we only made a 200 gram batch. And this is an 8-ounce container, but it does hold around 10 ounces of liquid. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in. This has got me inspired, honestly, to work on a sea moss hair mask. I already have some formulation ideas swirling around my brain. So I'll probably be sharing that sometime soon as well. All right. And there it is. That's how you make a beautiful, hydrating and nourishing sea moss shampoo. Let's do a use demo. All right, let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. So here's the batch we just made. I'm going to just set this aside. I'm going to actually show you my batch that I've been using, my little personal batch here, just because it's had a chance to sit for quite some time now, so you get an idea of what it looks like after the bubbles settle out. So I'm just going to pour, and I didn't use any thickener in this one, by the way. So right away, it's just giving me a really gorgeous and beautiful, silky, creamy, very hydrating lather. It also smells and feels stimulating from the beautiful rosemary and mint and lavender essential oils. It's got a nice, gentle foam and lather. This really bubbles up a lot more in your hair than it's showing on my hands, but again, it feels very gentle. It's got beautiful kind of conditioning and hydrating properties to it, so it doesn't feel drying or stripping at all. So this is a gorgeous formula. I hope to keep this one in my shower all the time. All right, everybody. Well, that's how you make a beautiful sea moss infused shampoo. I hope you liked this formula. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments and questions below. Subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend. All right, everybody. Catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining. Here's a little bonus footage here for you in case you've never seen what happens to sea moss water when it thickens up and cools. That's what it looks like. It goes totally gelatinous. So I did say I would show that to you. Just wanted to share. That's what it looks like when it gets down to room temperature, much like Jell-O.